Hi plant friends, welcome back to another video. In this particular video, I'm going to be sharing my watering routine with you, more specifically my bottom watering routine. I've been getting a lot of questions on previous videos as well as previous Instagram posts asking how I know when to water, how I know when my plants are done drinking water, what bottom watering is, so I thought I'd make a video and share it with you. This is my neon pothos that I featured in my last video, the trailing plants on the shelves over our bed. I haven't watered this plant since I bought it, probably a little over a month ago, and it is really needing water. The whole back of the plant yellowed. I actually pulled all those leaves off and I'll show them to you in a later clip. But you know that the plant needs watering if the leaves are limp like this. I might have waited a little too long, but pothos jump back very quickly, so once it's watered it should bounce right back. This is another one of my pothos. I was getting mixed answers as to what the true name of it is on my last video. Many people were saying it's a manhuala and others were saying that it's an enjoy. So I'm going to put both names up here. You can Google it and decide for yourself. I need to water this one as well, and just like my neon, it's missing a lot of back leaves because I have it pushed up on the shelf. So the back of it doesn't get any light, the leaves died off, but again, the leaves are limp, the vines are limp, and she needs to be watered. This is one of my golden pothos. I've also waited a really long time to water this one. This actually hangs in the room I'm currently in, and I have a fan in this room. It's the brightest room in our house, and before this last week warmed up, we had the heater going a lot, so the plants in this room dry out very quickly. You can tell by the floppiness, and all of my pothos leaves flop like this when they need to be watered. This is my neon philodendron. It's a tiny one. I have a larger one that I don't think I've showed you yet. The bottom of the pot has all the holes in it. I keep it in the little white ceramic pot, but there's no drainage, so I like to see right here. I pull it out and I just set this in a dish of water, and that's how I bottom water. I will show you in just a minute once I've showed you all the plants. Here's another golden pothos. This is another one of my shelf plants from our room. Super long. I have all these vines kind of trailing around our bed. I have them with mini clear clothespins. And just like the other ones, the leaves are super droopy. My vines are not perky at all. And it's a very thirsty plant, and we're gonna water it. This one hasn't really died off in the back. It stayed pretty happy compared to the recent ones that I've showed you. This is the larger sized dish that I like to use when I'm bottom watering. It's usually for plants to sit on top of, and of course so the water can fall down, but instead what I do is I pour the water in the dish, and as long as my pot has holes on the bottom, like I showed you on the philodendron pot, as long as the pot has holes on the bottom like that, I place it inside the dish, fill the dish with water, and let the plant drink up as much as it would like. There are many different sizes, shapes, materials that these bottom dishes come in. It's usually for you to set the plant on top of, and when you water from the top, it catches the water at the bottom and then allows your plant to drink up what it wants to finish from what fell down. But what I've noticed with terracotta is it bleeds water when you water from the top. Like obviously this plant here doesn't fit, but I'm showing you as an example. See all the holes at the bottom? I like to put nursery pots that have holes at the bottom in my terracotta pots and then pull them out when I want to water and put them in something like this. That way I don't lose any of the water that I'm giving to the plant. Now we're getting into actually watering the plants. As I mentioned before, I like to buy dishes that are much larger than the plant itself. That way I can make sure I fill the water around it. You can see this pot doesn't have as many openings at the bottom, and its opening is actually much deeper. So I end up having to fill the bottom up pretty high. So I'm adding more water right now. I'm gonna make it over the pot. Here's a close-up to make sure that my plant is able to drink the water because that opening was so high up. I'm using this clear dish for the pothos I just showed you. With this one, because the dish is pretty small, it's almost the size of the pot, I fill it before I put the pot in, and then I place the pot on top. Sometimes when I do this it overflows, and then you just gauge your water according to when it doesn't overflow. Here's the neon, and then there's the golden. In this clip I actually added more water to the neon, thinking that it had a deep opening like the golden pothos did. But what I figured out the next morning when no water was gone is that it needed its reservoir taken off. I wasn't recording when I figured that out, but I will put up an Instagram story, like a short clip showing you what exactly the reservoir is. By the way, these are all the leaves that I pulled off the neon. There was a few exotica leaves in there, but I'd say 98% were from my neon. For these clips, I'm going to insert the time that I started watering to the time that I checked, and all to most of the water was gone. You can tell the difference in the leaves. They were super droopy before, and now they're bouncy. They're vibrant. I usually check the soil, and because it's bottom watering, if you push the soil down, you can feel all the moisture at the bottom, and it's not at the top. I do that to avoid gnats. I found that a lot of times, especially in the winter when I water, look at these leaves. See, they're happy now, not thirsty anymore. But usually when I water and I know that the water is going to take a while to evaporate, gnats come. And as a houseplant enthusiast, I guess you could say, you know and I know that gnats are like enemy number one. I actually decided to fill this one up a second time because the leaves weren't quite as perky as they should be, so I decided it still might be thirsty, so I filled it up again to check if it was. It did drink up a majority of the water, but not all of the water, and that's okay. When I take the plants out of the dishes, I like to put them on a towel and let any excess water that may otherwise drip on my floor onto the towel. So that was my bottom watering routine. I hope that it helped you in knowing when to water your plants and knowing when they're done drinking water. I just hope that it helped you in general with the questions that you may have had. As always, I'll link my background decorations in the description below. I'll link my Save a Dog bag, my Arm the Animals hat. I got a new super cute Himalayan salt lamp. I'll link that below. Again, thank you for coming back to my channel. If you're new here, I have a plant section of videos and a cruelty-free section of videos so far. I'm going to be making a get to know me video soon, and that'll be the next one that I'm posting. So if you have any questions for me about me, please feel free to leave those in the comments as well. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one, Plant Fam.